There are 5 things that the moment you share them, you hand someone power over you. Not because they're bad people, because that's how information works. Most people find this out after the damage is done. Proverbs 17:28. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. The wisest book in history opens with this. We'll come back to it at the end. Here are the 5 things. Thing 1, your income. Your income is not a conversation, it's leverage. The moment someone knows what you earn, they know your ceiling, your floor, and your vulnerabilities. This isn't about secrecy for its own sake. It's about understanding what information does once it leaves you. Research in behavioral economics found that employees who disclosed their salary to colleagues experienced a measurable drop in perceived authority and negotiating power, even when their income was above average. The disclosure itself was the problem, not the number. Your income tells people what you can afford to lose. Some of them will use that. Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. The man who announces his income is not being transparent. He's inviting a calculation about his worth that he didn't ask for and can't control. Next, the one that destroys more plans before they launch than almost anything else. Thing 2, your next move. You have a plan, something you're building, preparing, moving toward. And there's a version of you that wants to tell someone about it. Don't. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer at NYU found that sharing a goal with others creates social reality. Your brain registers the telling as partial completion of the goal. In his studies, people who announced their intentions were measurably less likely to follow through than those who stayed silent. The telling reduces the doing. The plan isn't safer once it's spoken. It's more exposed. Protect it until it can protect itself. Samson told Delilah his source of strength after she asked 7 times. He knew she was working against him and told her anyway. Judges 16. The compulsion to be fully known cost him everything. The ancient world called this foolishness. Psychology calls it self-disclosure compulsion. The name changed. The result didn't. After that, the one that creates the most damage in the relationships closest to you. Thing 3, your relationship problems. When a relationship is in difficulty, the instinct is to talk to someone about it. That instinct is almost always wrong. Not because your feelings aren't valid, because the people you tell form an opinion that outlasts the problem. Research from the Gottman Institute found that couples who widely share their relationship conflicts with friends are significantly more likely to break up. Not because the relationship is worse, but because the social circle's judgment becomes permanent while the couple moves on. The conflict resolves. The verdict doesn't. You repair the relationship. But the people you told are still holding your partner to the version of events they heard in your worst moment. Proverbs 17:9. Whoever would foster love covers over an offense, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. 3,000 years ago, same dynamic. Some things are only yours to carry and yours to resolve. Here's what you want to know next. The 4th one, most people never consider until it's too late. Thing 4, your past traumas. This one requires the most care, because it's not a rule, it's a discernment. Not everyone who asks about your past deserves access to it. Your wounds are not proof of authenticity. In the wrong hands, they become the permanent lens through which someone will always see you. There is a difference between healing through disclosure, with the right person at the right time, and handing your history to someone who will use it to define or diminish you. Joseph never recounted what his brothers had done to him publicly, not until the moment he chose to reveal himself from a position of authority on his own terms. Genesis 45. He didn't hide the trauma. He held it until he was the one deciding what to do with it. Choose who gets access to your lowest points as carefully as you choose who gets access to your next move. But now, the fifth thing, and this might be the most important of all. Thing 5, who you're becoming. There is a version of you that doesn't exist yet, a direction you're moving, a man you're in the process of building. Don't describe him to people who only know who you were. The people around you have a mental model of you, built from every version of you they've observed. When you announce a new direction, they filter it through that model. Most of the time, their model is behind where you're going. Samson had a calling, the most powerful calling in his generation. He spent it on people who couldn't see what he was built for. Judges 13-16. The gap between what he carried and who he disclosed it to was exactly the width of his destruction. Protect what you're becoming from people who are still holding your old version. Let the change speak. Arrive as the person. That announcement lands differently than any description ever could. Your income, your next move, your relationship problems, your past traumas, who you're becoming. What all 5 have in common. They are sources of leverage over you, and leverage only works if someone else holds it. This isn't paranoia, it's precision. There are people who deserve every piece of you, and they earn it over time through demonstrated trustworthiness, not because you felt an impulse to share. Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The morning you protect, the plans you protect, the person you're becoming, protect that too. Silence isn't weakness, it is the oldest form of power, because silence only protects you if you also know who you're being silent with.